Today, our group will be presenting on the topic the main sources of Malaysia government's revenue from 2020 to 2024. The government revenue refers to the money collected by the government to pay public services and national development. This revenue is used to provide essential services such as healthcare, education, infrastructure, and public safety. Without sufficient revenue, the government would face difficulties in maintaining these services and supporting the country's economic growth. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused a significant economic slowdown. Many businesses were forced to close temporarily and has caused unemployment and reduced economic activity. As a result, government revenue decreased because the tax collection was lower. However, as the economy gradually recovered from 2022, business activities resumed, consumer spending increased, and government revenue improved. Besides taxes, the government also received income from non-tax resources, such as dividends from government-linked companies, especially Petronas, as well as fees, license, and investment income. In this presentation, we will first discuss the main resources of Malaysia's government revenue between 2020 and 2024. Next, we will explain how macroeconomics theory relates to these revenue changes. And finally, we will conclude by highlighting why stable government revenue is important for Malaysia's economic development. Thank you. And now, I will proceed to the next person.
Assalamualaikum and hi. Today, I will explain about the summary of the macroeconomic issues. From 2020 to 2024, Malaysian government revenue was mainly generated from direct taxes, indirect taxes, petroleum-related revenue, and non-tax revenue. Direct taxes such as individual and corporate income taxes remain an important source of revenue. However, in 2020, tax collection decreased because the COVID-19 pandemic reduced business activity and employment opportunities. Indirect taxes, including sales and service tax (SST), import duties, and excise duties, were also affected due to lower consumer spending during the pandemic. Revenue gradually increased as economic activities recover between 2021 and 2024. Petroleum-related revenue from Petronas contributed significantly to government income. Revenue declined in 2020 because of lower global oil price, but it improved from 2022 onwards due to increasing energy price. Malaysia also faced several macroeconomic issues during this period, including economic slowdown caused by COVID-19, fiscal deficit, inflation, and global economic uncertainty. This factor affected government revenue and overall economic performance.
Now, I will explain the macroeconomic theory related to our topic. The main theory related to government revenue is fiscal policy. Fiscal policy means the government uses taxes and government spending to influence the economy. Between 2020 and 2024, Malaysia's government revenue came mainly from taxes and other non-tax sources. This money was used to fund public services such as healthcare, education, infrastructure, and social assistance. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic caused many businesses to close and economic activities to slow down. Because of this, tax revenue decreased from 2021 to 2024. The economy gradually recovered. More businesses reopened, employment improved, and tax collection increased. As a result, government revenue also increased. Another relevant theory is the circular flow of income. Households and businesses pay taxes to the government, and the government uses the revenue to provide public services and invest in the economy. This helps create jobs, increase income, and support economic growth.
In conclusion, from 2020 to 2024, Malaysian government's revenue came from several main sources that support the country development. And revenue decreased during the pandemic due to lower economic activity. However, revenue gradually increased as the economy improved. This shows that government revenue is closely linked to economic growth. Higher income and spending lead to higher tax collection and overall revenue.